Ukraine fatigue. People bring up the fact that the war started before 2022. Well, anyone that's seen my Ukraine videos will see me repeatedly talking about how it was CIA-backed coup d'etat happened in Maidan in 2014. I was accused of being a Russian agent by talking about that stuff. Now, I'm the opposite according to these same people. Just because a nation is led down a path by a dark organization, the CIA, which has worked with Jeffrey Epstein, doesn't mean we should discount the entire nation. The European Union led that same nation down that same path. I disagreed with it, and I was on record as saying I disagreed with what happened. They installed a US-friendly leader, and then the next one that came was very US-friendly, and that's why the war in the Donbas continued. At first, it was a civil war, then it was a civil war proxy war, and that proxy war continued for many, many years. I think it was something like 12,500 people died in the Donbas, and that's tragic. It's really, really tragic. It should never have been allowed to have happened. I was very aware of the time of the military presence in Ukraine between 2014 and 2022, but at least it was isolated. But it was the Russian invasion which came all the way up to Kyiv, or the attempted Russian invasion, which is where they overstepped the line. It's all very well backing a civil war, but once you push and you try to invade the capital, that's when you cross the line, and that's what the Russians did. And that's why even those people in eastern Ukraine, and I was talking about places like Kharkiv, Dnipro, even Odessa, Russian-speaking places prior to 2022, they were all very much pro-Russia. But you will find all of those Ukrainians, most of them at least, 99% of them, they suddenly turned their backs on Russia and they no longer supported Russia. I met many, many Ukrainians that said, oh, life would be better under Russia. That was until the war started. They dramatically changed their tune because they had to live with the bombardment. They witnessed the mass rapes of women and children in Bakhmut. They witnessed the atrocities that happened. And that was the people that decided, no, they don't want to be ruled over by Putin and his gang of terrorists. They didn't want it. They thought they romanticized it, a little bit similar to how the right romanticized Putin still, but they saw the light when the atrocities started to be committed. When the Russians came in and they started stealing washing machines, that's when they realized how wrong and unethical these terrorists were. And that's when they, despite the fact that their main language is Russian, they decided no.